valedictory event of our young scholars, Ms. Janvi Lokhegaonkar, Ms. Amruta Thalwarkar, Mr. Denard D'Souza, for the completion of the Special Research Program 2019-2021. This is a much awaited event in every researcher's life, as it gives the returns to the effort put in by them throughout their academic endeavor. It gives a sense of achievement and responsibility towards fulfilling further commitments. To begin this occasion, I am honored to introduce Commodore Robbie Thomas, the Director, Maritime History Society, specialized in anti-submarine warfare, a qualified ship's diver. He is also an external pilot instructor on remotely piloted aircraft. He was a senior fellow at ITSA prior joining to MHS. Now I invite Commodore Robbie Thomas to deliver an introductory speech.
Hello and greetings to all our guests, colleagues from MHS and the graduating research associates of this, for which we are having this validatory function. The year 2021 has emerged with a focus on enhanced influence and prominence for greater maritime business. MHS 2.0 sees this rising wave of opportunity to curate consciousness, collaborate a sense of ownership, and skillfully harness the mind space among key people and agencies in the oceanic realm in India and beyond. MHS today continues a rich journey of promoting Indian maritime wisdom through a variety of means and services. The bedrock of attainment of MHS objectives rests in a robust and collaborative program. Today, MHS is conducting various areas of maritime studies and research for achieving an optimum combination of academics and research. In continuing with our commitment to supplement more pronounced research in the realms of maritime studies and promote maritime consciousness amongst the people, the Special Research Program was launched as one of the key parts of MHS Manthan research. The core strength of MHS content and credibility has been the research program. The journey of the research program started from 2017 with the launch of the in-house research program, which started with 2 research associates, and thereafter in 2019 it grew in number to the latest research program, which involved up to 4 in-house researchers working on their major research projects. I would like to start by saying that it is a great honor for us to be hosting a regulatory function for the 2019-2021 Special Research Program. I take this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation to Commodore Oracle Johnson for playing a prominent role and for his remarkable service in the inception of the research program and spearheading the same. Functioning under the guidance of Commodore Johnson and mentored by the MHS Academic Council, these researchers have provided the primary canvas of intellectual function at MHS. They have significantly taken responsibility for continuing academic inquiry into the full spectrum of maritime study with focus on maritime history and heritage. On achieving this significant milestone in service to MHS and the Special Research Program, I would like to congratulate the 3 researchers, namely Ms. Amruta Thalwarkar for her research on the built heritage within the maritime domain and analyzing the coastal defense plan of the 19th century Bombay, Mr. Denard D'Souza for his comprehensive work on analyzing maritime practices of littoral communities on the western coast of India, and Ms. Janvi Lokegaonkar for a research work on assessing Anglo-French rivalry in the Bay of Bengal. I congratulate you all for this significant achievement and for the successful completion of your research projects. The Special Research Program has been a good way to get a foot in the door of maritime domain and give the research associates an opportunity to delve deeper into maritime history, maritime heritage, shipbuilding, and more such subjects. The strides that these research associates have taken in the past few years on research front at MHS affirms that the groundwork of the Special Research Program are the pillars of the MHS academic infrastructure. The researchers have been actively and effectively involved in conceptualization and coordination of academic seminars in both the offline and online modes, and have taken responsibilities of execution by demonstrating a very high level of teamwork. Also, in the midst of COVID pandemic, the researchers have embraced and contributed to the digital space at MHS with the launch of the MHS website and other social media channels. The researchers have successfully engaged all maritime enthusiasts with their rich content. In the last 2 years of their program, the research associates covered a wide spectrum of subjects of the maritime domain, ranging from maritime geography, maritime development through history, maritime security, tangible and intangible heritage via articles, blogs, presenting in conferences, etc., which included to organizations like the National Defence Academy at Khadakwasla. Apart from their contribution in these in various articles, blogs that were available on the digital space, these associates have also demonstrated ownership towards the in-house gallery and archiving by giving a tour of the premises to visitors who would drop in for interaction with us. In conclusion, each researcher worked extensively on the areas of research and have contributed towards a body of knowledge and of promoting maritime consciousness among the masses. As much as the COVID time has been a setback, the research associates have very well looked and taken this as an opportunity and were the right catalyst for the digital transformation of MHS. In the same vein, the research contributions that you all have made to MHS over the past 2 years have been invaluable to us. And I hope MHS has provided you with an exceptional academic opportunity and supported you as you develop your research capabilities. It really warms my heart as Director MHS to see the research program succeeding so well. And the research program was conducted with great diligence and energy. The dedication by the 3 research associates have resulted in such a well-deserved achievement. Once again, I express my appreciation to all of you and wish you good luck on all your future endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commodore Robbie Thomas. Now I would like to introduce Commodore Odekal Johnson, a maritime professional for over 34 years, a leading voice of influence to enable maritime consciousness as maritime knowledge theorist and life navigator. He has authored a book titled Timeless Wake: The Legacy of Royal Indian Navy in World War II, and co-edited Essays in Maritime Studies Volume 3, published by Maritime History Society. He is a visiting faculty on research methodology as well as in maritime knowledge at the Naval War College, Indian Naval Academy, University of Bombay, the Central University of Gujarat, among others. His papers, articles and online content have done a great service to enhance the spirit of maritime consciousness in India. May I now call upon stage Commodore Odekal Johnson to deliver an overview of program as a head of program. Please give him a big round of applause.
through history, the successful completion of maritime voyages, whether it is globally in the latter medieval period or across the Indian Ocean space and India, the culmination always was a moment of celebration and commemoration as the brave seafarers completed their mission and returned. Patron MHS, Admiral Curvey, Director MHS, Commodore Robbie Thomas, eminent members of the Academic Council, Dr. Tejas Garge, Dr. Rashna Ponsha, parents of the proud young scholars, Team MHS, and audience watching online. I greet each one of you who's gathered here, whether in person or watching online, or just thinking of the young RAs as they celebrate this moment. It is my honor to welcome you and also present an overview at the completion of the Maritime History Society Special Research Program 2019-21. The MHS itself is an academic legacy inspired by a founder chairman, the late Vice Admiral M.P. Avati, the founder trustee, the late Admiral J.G. Nadkarni, who provided the knowledge base, zeal, and inspiration for this amazing initiative, which has crossed over 43 years. The rigor and mentorship of our research inheritance was provided by the amazing Professor, late B. Arunachalam, himself an eminent scholar, a prolific writer, author, and editor, who provided the base, inspiration, and content for 20 out of the 22 Maritime History Society publications. And as I call him, the MHS grandsire, late Admiral Avati, inspired and directed me to cast a vision to raise an in-house research resource and scholarship to carry forward the work that had been done for nearly 4 decades. Allow me to quote Descartes, who said, "We are able to see further because we stand on the shoulders of giants." Giants had trodden through the decades, and it was time for young scholars to come in, stand on their shoulders, and to take the purpose and objectives further. As already mentioned by the director, the initial effort in 2017 could not be taken to culmination due to certain domestic constraints of the researchers. But in 2019, the trustees gave approval to launch this research program, and that is what we commemorate today. After a rigorous search, 3 young enthusiastic academics became a part of this program and today are on their journey to excellence and to become what I call the MHS Sagar Ratnas. The vision was that these scholars would carry a passion for matters maritime with a rigor of research methodology and go on to contribute to a larger body of knowledge to enhance maritime consciousness and awaken our seafaring heritage. So there were 3 principles to this research program. The first was rigor in research writing. So the principle is that there are no great writings. There are only great rewritings after following a due diligence and process. And that is a journey still in progress. Second was to bring coherence in thought, which is where research methodology and structure were drilled in as a daily activity and is still an ongoing mission. The third principle unique to the Maritime History Society is multidimensionality, which provides the full spectrum that the maritime domain demands. Overall, the young scholars whom you will hear in a few minutes have started building their niche in the larger body of maritime studies, and the potential to grow is even greater. Now, I am not going to mention the specifics of their projects. That's been mentioned by them, and I'll mention somebody else who's going to talk about it. But I want to say to this audience today, at the National Defence Academy, when the young team shared from their heart and their learnings, I was so sure that the late Admiral Avti, late Admiral Nadkarni, and the late Professor Arunachalam would have looked down from heaven and smiled. Personally, as the head of the program, I am proud of you three, India's youngest maritime scholars and the Maritime History Society Sagar Ratnas. I commend you and I commend them to you. And as I look and see you today, I see great accomplishment and great hope. Congratulations. You have customized your pathways to express who you are and what is meaningful to you. You are ready to prepare yourself for a future that is significant to you and to the nation. We together celebrate this commencement of the journey, knowing surely that you will continue to serve and empower others in your distinctive way, and to live in the spirit of this place as unravelers of complexity, responsible fact checkers, open-minded knowledge bearers, and most of all, persistent, credible truth tellers. It is my delight and honor that a good friend of mine, a fellow maritime enthusiast, Shri Sanjeev Sanyal, the Principal Economic Advisor to the Ministry of Finance, will be delivering the keynote address, and more important, will present his review of your work. And that makes me proud. But let me say this. As this vessel sails over the familiar waves, take a moment to reflect on the magic of this time, and at the same time know that you are a part of a compelling and unstoppable hope which radiates from the Maritime History Society to this maritime nation. And I have the honor and distinction, even before the certificates will be awarded later in the day, to congratulate and welcome the 3 newly minted Junior Research Fellows of Maritime History Society. Congratulations. Let's applaud that. Jai Hind, Shamno Varun, Virasat Jagaye, Samudri Chetna. Thank you.
Thank you, Commodore Article Johnson, for coming on stage and sharing valuable experiences. There is a scripture portion that reads, "If the beginning of wisdom is in realizing that one knows nothing, then the beginning of understanding is in realizing that all things exist in accord with a single truth. Large things are made up of smaller things." On that note, I would like to invite our 3 research associates to share their experiences working in this program. I would like to request their parents and also their supervisors, Commodore Article Johnson, Dr. Tejas Garge, who is the Director, Directorate of Archaeology and Museum, Government of Maharashtra, and Dr. Rasna Poncha, Assistant Professor at the History Department, Sophia College, to say a few words on their views of the program.
Hello everyone, I am Janvi Lokhegaonkar, Research Associate at the Maritime History Society.
Hello everyone, I am Amruta Tarodekar, Research Associate at the Maritime History Society.
Hi there, this is Denard D'Souza, and I'm a Research Associate at the Maritime History Society.
For the past 2 years, this introduction has been a part and parcel of my identity. It is my proud privilege to be associated with MHS, facility of the Western Naval Command, Indian Navy. MHS has given me a platform that enabled me to broaden and polish my understanding of the maritime expanse. Reading, writing, probing further and rewriting has been an important part of the journey of this research program. And now, when I look back, I feel happy and content of how it all transpired.
Since I'm an architect by profession, with a master's degree in architectural urban coordination, maritime history was relatively a new subject for me. Today, after 2 years of being marinized at the Maritime History Society, I'm glad to say that the research program has helped me dive into the diverse range of topics related to Indian maritime history, culture, and heritage.
While recounting my 2 years at MHS, I feel a sense of accomplishment and a bit wiser than I was before. This institution has given me a foregrounding into the world of research and academics.
At MHS, I was able to work in my areas of interest, which happen to be the modern maritime and naval history, socio-economic and political dimensions of Indian history, adding a maritime flavor to it, while also operating in out-of-comfort areas that evolved in an interest in maritime law. Today, I think I can say that I'm sufficiently marinized, and I only look forward to gain more experience in this realm.
Once I found my niche area, there is no looking back. In these 2 years, I have studied and developed a significant amount of interest in the architecture of coastal batteries that were developed in the 19th century, such as the Oyster Rock Battery, Colaba Battery, Middle Ground Battery, among many. Along with this, since I come from a technical background, the traditional boat building techniques was something I was really fascinated with. Having visited Mandvi in Gujarat, where they still practice this craft, was something out of my imagination.
In many ways, the maritime world has drawn me closer. I have been able to connect dots of ancient Indian history with the maritime realm and theorize modern geopolitical realities. My work at MHS generally tends to be around the subject of anthropo-historical study of the coastal communities, the study of early historic monsoon patterns, and the study of coastal pilgrimages, amongst many other things. Much of these studies are unvultured territories in the maritime domain, and I have tried to make a change in a pleasant way.
People on this occasion. Thank you, Commodore Rodakal Johnson, for mentoring us throughout this journey. I thank my colleagues for being wonderful and accommodative. Thanks to the patron and academic council of MHS for having faith in us. I would also like to thank Commodore Shrikant Kesnur and Commodore Robbie Thomas for their support and encouragement. I am truly indebted to all the teachers, academicians and educators that made history interesting for me. Last but not the least, thank you Ai and Baba for believing in me and supporting me, and for the midnight coffees that you fixed me up with. Thank you Didi for being the obedient and docile daughter to our parents so I could do all the crazy stuff in life.
मी विलास किशोर लोकेगावकर, मेरीटाईम हिस्ट्री सोसायटीमधील सर्व अधिकारी व सर्व कर्मचारी वर्गगण यांना माझा नमस्कार. माझी मुलगी जान्हवी मेरीटाईम हिस्ट्री सोसायटीत कार्यरत आहे याचा आम्हाला फार अभिमान आहे. लहानपणापासून जान्हवीला समुद्र व इतिहासाची आवड होती. फार कमी लोकांना आपल्या आवडीच्या क्षेत्रात काम करण्याची संधी मिळते. तिला ते मिळाली. तिने निवडलेले क्षेत्रसुद्धा एक वेगळं क्षेत्र आहे. त्याचा पालक म्हणून आम्हाला फार अप्रूप वाटते. जान्हवी, तिचे सहकारी अमृता व डेनाड यांनी उत्तम कामगिरी बजावली आहे. त्यांना व मेरीटाईम हिस्ट्री सोसायटीतील सर्व अधिकारी व इतर सर्व सहकाऱ्यांना पुढील वाटचालीस हार्दिक हार्दिक शुभेच्छा. ऑल द बेस्ट.
As I complete the program today, I'm grateful to many for making my journey memorable and a learning experience. I would start by thanking Commodore Oracle Johnson for choosing me to be part of this program. This research program was your vision. I came from a very different background, and he has guided me throughout, being very patient. A special thanks to Commodore Robbie Thomas, our patron MHS, and the Academic Council for their constant encouragement. An office is known for its work environment, and at MHS, we all grew together. I am thankful, and my journey would not be possible without my co-researchers, Denard and Janvi. We have worked as a team throughout. Last but not the least, I would like to thank my family and friends for being there with me always.
Hello everyone. I am feeling so privileged to speak today on this occasion. I would like to thank MHS team for this. But let me tell you that when my daughter Amruta told me that she is joining MHS, I was little doubtful as to what a Masters in Architecture is going to do in Indian Navy's research organization. But I think the selection panel and Commodore Johnson had thought of something. And then her journey with MHS started. During this journey, she has been exposed to so many new projects and activities that it has helped her grow professionally and personally. The presentation at NDA, sailing with Captain Dilip Donde, meeting with Commander Abhilash Tomi and visit to Mandvi were few of the instances. I thank all her colleagues and mentors for this. And I wish her to always prioritize the welfare of our country, as the tagline of Indian Navy is Har Kaam Desh Ke Naam. Thank you so much.
I also like to thank each and every one who has been part of this journey. My family, for example, my mother, father, and my sister Avina have been a supporting force in this venture. I like to especially thank Commodore Oracle Johnson for reposing faith in my work and has shown considerable fortitude by maintaining, by acquainting me to the maritime world. I'd also like to thank the patron, the Academic Council, and you, my friends, Janvi and Amrita, for being part of this entire process and making this journey a memorable and a smooth one.
This is Lorraine D'Souza. I would like to thank the Maritime History Society for offering me this opportunity to speak about my son, Denard D'Souza. I've seen my son grow leaps and bounds in the past 2 years. He has become more articulate in these years of his attachment as research associate with the MHS. The Institute has offered him a platform to showcase his inert capabilities. He has always had a flair for intellectual rumination and discourse, and MHS has helped him build on his acumen. As a parent, I thank the MHS family who have made Denard's journey at MHS a delightful and memorable experience.
In addition to being the head of the program, I also had the honor to be the research supervisor for Janvi's major research project. Building on her earlier experience with the Sassoon family and with maritime law, Janvi has done a study into the 18th century Bay of Bengal maritime scenario and has done a fair work of progressing into a project that should be a continuing emphasis on our behalf, and I compliment her for it.
Good afternoon, dear friends, maritime lovers. It is my really privilege to talk about my association with Maritime History Society and the academic programs run since last few years. I really congratulate Commodore Johnson for supporting Janvi, Denard and Amruta, and the kind of academic zeal that he passed on to the students. And some of the projects were really close to my heart. For example, study of coastal batteries and I'm sure this kind of academic knowledge brought by Maritime History Society will really enrich our own knowledge about maritime history as well as our past. Thank you.
I would like to congratulate the young research scholars of the MHS on successfully completing their program. I was part of the team that interviewed them, and I'm so happy to see how far they have come. They have all achieved that potential that we saw during those interviews. It has been a pleasure working with them and interacting with them in these last couple of years. Congratulations to my student Denard. Keep up the good work. And congratulations are also due to the MHS team and Commodore Johnson for their diligent work in grooming these young research scholars. I wish all of you all the very best. Thank you.
With a firm belief that interest in the maritime expanse will only rise amongst wider masses, I close by reiterating MHS core value, let heritage awaken our maritime consciousness.
And Maritime History Society, very dear organization, there were several lessons that it taught me for life. Some of them being, always look at the big picture. You can do it if you think you can, and sky's the limit.
Lastly and finally, I would wish everyone fair winds and bountiful blessings. Thank you so much.
Words are powerful motivators and have the ability to transform the history of a nation, bring transition in the perception and mindset of people. Thereupon, I take this privilege to introduce our revered chief guest, Shri Sanjeev Sanyal, Principal Economic Advisor to the Government of India. He has been a visiting scholar at Oxford University, Adjunct Fellow at the Institute of Policy Studies, Singapore, a Senior Fellow of the Worldwide Fund for Nature, a Fellow of the Royal Geographical Society, London, an Honorary Professor of Jawaharlal Nehru University, Delhi. He is a well-known urban theorist, a key advocate of maritime consciousness, and a renowned writer. May I invite Shri Sanjeev Sanyal to deliver a keynote address on this occasion. Please give him a big round of applause.
Hello friends, I am honored to have been asked to be the chief guest at this valedictory event of the Maritime History Society. I have great admiration for the emphasis the Society has placed on developing a wider interest in India's rich maritime past, a history that is not adequately celebrated, and something I'm quite passionate about. As many of you know, I've written books about this issue. I take this opportunity also to express my appreciation to Commodore Odakkal Johnson, a dear friend and partner in many adventures, and also the director of the Maritime History Society for inviting me to this event. I would like to congratulate the three researchers, Ms. Janvi Lokegaonkar, Amrita Tala Wadekar, Mr. Denard D'Souza, for completing their research projects. This is a special joy for being recognized for all your hard work. Now, maritime history is an interdisciplinary theme. While studying global history, it encompasses the multidimensional study of human interactions. Indians have, of course, been seafarers with a history of maritime ventures going over 4 millennium, perhaps even more. And as some of you may know, the Bronze Age port of Dholavira was recently given the UNESCO World Heritage status. And now that may come as some surprise to you, because if you look at a map, Dholavira looks like it's miles inside. It's many kilometers inland. But that's because the Run of Kutch, where the Dholavira is today, was originally actually navigable sea, or it was the estuary of the Saraswati and Indus rivers. So when you think about maritime history, do remember the landscape that you are dealing with over time may not have been quite the same. at different points of history. Now, Indian maritime history connects the traditional themes that developed around subjects like the history of maritime trade, of course, of conquest, colonization, of culture spreading, historical analysis, and of course discourses on naval warfare and economic issues. So it brings together all kinds of different fields, sort of encapsulating maritime tradition and practices, including shipbuilding, commercial fishing, and of course I mentioned trade earlier. So a lot of things go into thinking about Indian maritime history when you're thinking about its place in the wider historical narrative. The good news is there is now a growing consciousness about our maritime presence and our maritime history. In the past century, Indians have proved their nautical skills by taking part in international theatres as part of the Royal Indian Marine. And then after independence, in the 1971 war, the liberation of Goa, the recent evacuations from the Middle East, and so on. As I said, the good news is that over very recently, or maybe just the last decade or so, there's been a somewhat of an awakening about maritime matters in the general public discourse and the wider audience. Now, more effort needs to be done in this, and so a very welcome emphasis about the government initiatives and the Navy's initiatives. Of course, the research papers that we will discuss here are part of that effort. Till recently, as I mentioned, we had neglected the abundance of accounts. So our neglect of our maritime history is not because of the lack of material. There's an abundance of material, accounts of coastal traditions, literature, sagas of various kind, epigraphical, cultural evidence of ocean-going knowledge amongst communities living along the Indian coastline. And there are, of course, lot the previously neglected frames of history, because it gives you a very different view of history. Geopolitics, of course, is a continually evolving realm that provides better understanding when put in the context of historical trajectories. History, and it's particularly maritime history, is of course not a unidimensional field. It is a multidimensional one, which ranges from different frames, from politics and law to culture to economics and military history. Given this very diverse theater of operation, it is crucial for the armed forces, and particularly for a naval person, to be well informed and be guided by what has gone on before them. And in the Indian Ocean, of course, transoceanic passage has spanned over, as I said, millennia, going back at least 4,000 or 5,000 years ago. I mean, there are Bronze Age accounts of trade between west coast of India and Sumeria. The Sumerians have left accounts of Indian communities living there, as I said, 5,000 years ago. And in this context, of course, culture, commerce, connectivity, all these things need to be discussed. Now, here is some details about the research projects by the three young researchers. In no order of importance, I will read out about some of what they have done. The first one is Miss Janvi Lokegaonkar. So Janvi is a research enthusiast and has been working with the Maritime History Society, Mumbai, as a research associate since July of 2019. She has completed her master's in history from the University of Mumbai with an educational background in core history, and she brings an interdisciplinary approach to research, being both a history and a heritage enthusiast. She's inclined towards the somewhat socio-political and cultural aspects of the past. Maritime and military history of modern and contemporary period, along with the history of the diaspora, is what her interest is. She's been actively presenting papers in addition to shouldering her promotional activities of MHS, which are a part of her work. So as part of the outlines of the research program, there was a first, what I would call a minor research project she did, which was titled Assessing the Role and Contribution of the Sassoon Family in the Development of the Maritime Economy of Mumbai, or Bombay, as it was then called. The primary objective of this study was to explore the contributions of the Sassoon family, which was a Baghdadi Jewish family, as some of you will know. The second minor research project was based on an assigned theme about maritime law. The project is titled Relooking at the Importance of Maritime Law in Contemporary Times Through Legal History in the Maritime Domain. So legal history is a nascent field, and more so in maritime domain. So not many people have done work in that. So congratulations, I'm glad you've picked this up. So further, as part of the research program at MHS, the research associate had to contribute towards a major research project that evolved under the guidance of the former director MHS, based on mutual areas of interest and of the both of the institution and of the RA, and to broaden the spirit of inquiry and adherence to methodology in keeping with the rigors of research. So Janvi has undertaken a major research project titled Assessing the Anglo-French Rivalry in the Bay of Bengal during the 18th century under the guidance of Commodore Oracle Johnson. This project aims to examine the impact of Anglo-French naval and related land-based engagements in the Bay of Bengal region in the 18th century and identify the importance of the sea and its influence on Indian maritime history. So a very interesting subject, and I'm sure many of you will hopefully look up this study of hers. Moving on to the next researcher, Mr. Denard D'Souza. Denard has a master's in ancient Indian culture, history, and archaeology from St. Xavier's College, Mumbai. His major area of interest is the study of ancient politics of the East, especially India and Southeast Asia, and the intermingling of culture, religion, art in the result on trans-regional movements. He also observes current global trends and the application of history to augment policy. Currently, he works on at the Maritime History Society as a research assistant, where his work entails a wide range of subjects, including ancient Indian nautical practices to maritime community heritage and traditions. So his first minor project was titled Sopara, Conceptualizing a Maritime Heritage Hub. This project is based on documenting all the heritage sites within the Vasai-Virar region, with Nalasapora as the fulcrum. So Denard's second minor research project was on the use of monsoons in the maritime trade of the West Coast from the 3rd century BC to the 5th century AD. An inquiry into the monsoon patterns on the west seaboard and its use in seaward navigation. That was assigned as a topic in the fulfillment of his tenure as research associate at the Maritime History Society. The project was focused on analyzing monsoon patterns in early historic period. This project was based on the premise, of course, that wind and monsoon patterns have not changed drastically in the past 2,000 odd years, and the routes which aligned are fairly static to today. By the way, those who are not aware of this, this is actually quite a strong assumption. And so I would ask Denard that maybe in a future date, he may want to do a wider and somewhat more technically difficult project, perhaps together with an expert on weather patterns and climate patterns. He also did, incidentally, a major research project undertaken called, I quote, Socio-Religious, Cultural and Maritime Practices of Littoral Communities on the West Coast of India. The project envisages the documented histories of subaltern communities in northern Konkan littorals. The mainstay of this research project was the documentation of community practice, cultural and religious traits, and knowledge traditions pertaining to maritime activity. Using the concept and methodology of oral histories, Denard was able to try and find data and enhance how we see maritime history. Very interesting project. And again, I hope he will continue this into the future. Finally, Ms. Amrita Talawadekar. Amrita is an architect by profession with a master's degree in architecture and urban conservation from Kamla Raheja Vidyanidhi Institute for Architecture and Environmental Studies. She has been working with the Maritime History Society as a research associate, looking into conservation of the built heritage within the maritime domain. Living in Mumbai, her keen interest lies in the maritime history of Mumbai. And being a heritage enthusiast and a technical professional, she is inclined towards the shipbuilding practices and techniques of India, along with the built heritage like coastal batteries of Mumbai. Very interesting subject again. She has presented and published several articles and papers, both individually and with Team MHS. So her first minor project was titled Historic Review and Potential of Oyster Rock Battery. If I'm not mistaken, this is the battery that you can kind of see from on the from the southern tip, on the eastern side of the southern tip of Mumbai. So the research intended was to undertake a thorough study of the loopholes in the existing research about it, about the potential of using oyster rock for some other use, maybe conserve it. The research provided about this is not just about the city of Mumbai, but also about the country and its defense history. It does have tremendous potential. Her second minor research project was need for conservation of shipbuilding heritage of India with the case studies of Mandvi, Gujarat, and Bepur in Kerala. The author elaborates those ships that are often being catalysts for securing trade links, exchange of cultures, supporting warfare. From reed boats to massive vessels, shipbuilding in India has been experienced right from the beginning, from its ancient history. There was growth at various periods. Amrita has also undertaken, by the way, a major research project titled the Coastal Defense Plan of 19th Century Bombay. Obviously, that follows on, I presume, from the work she has done on oyster rock. So this is a functional review of the fortifications, and the project was undertaken under the guidance of Dr. Tejas Garg, Director of the Director of Archaeology and Museums, Government of Maharashtra. The arrival of the British and the conversion of Bombay into one of the most important trading posts opened up the city, and several defense strategies were simultaneously put up. After the removal of the fort walls of Bombay, the city needed a seaward defense, and the plan proposed was the erection of coastal batteries. So hence, coming back to the issue about coastal batteries along the harbor and the Back Bay. These fortifications are thus a witness to Mumbai's sea power and the political upheavals of the English and other sea warriors. So to conclude, India's maritime heritage, as I said right in the beginning, sadly ignored till recently, but I'm glad that research projects by these researchers contributed to our understanding of maritime history. Similarly, such projects should be encouraged to bring our legacies to the fore. More of them should be done. So while we celebrate our past academic, celebrate your past academic accomplishments and activities today, I want to challenge you, all three researchers and others who may be in the audience, to continue with your quest for knowledge and to discover in your own way how to contribute to the MHS and to the body of knowledge about our maritime past. Let me additionally propose that the Maritime History Society pushes for the proper retelling of post-independence maritime history. The role of the Navy and of the merchant fleet since 1947 in our economy, in our military achievements, and in our geopolitical reach. This too is history. Post-independence history is also history. And it has even greater importance given that we are reaching the 75-year mark as a free country. So I hope MHS will take up, some interest in the more recent history of the last 75 years. And this is particularly important because many of the people who took part in these events are still around in many cases, and it's important to record their testimonies while they're still alive rather than to have to read about them. So I think maybe there may be an effort to call in people from some of these events, particularly, for example, the 1971 war, and document their personal retellings of this, along with, of course, whatever documents and photographs and videography that may be there. Finally, may I thank the Maritime History Society for the invitation and for their continuing efforts in awakening maritime consciousness in the country. I take this opportunity for wishing all the researchers the very best in their future endeavors. I would also like to congratulate the academic supervisors for their excellent work in shaping the future researchers. Thank you very much, and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Shri Sanjeev Sanyal, for such an inspiring words. We really appreciate you taking out time for us and giving an in-depth review of our research projects. I would like to introduce Patron Emeritus Vice Admiral A.R. Karve, retired, who is a distinguished veteran with over 38 years of naval service and retired as the Flag Officer Commanding-in-Chief, Southern Naval Command. He also has been closely associated as a paper presenter, supporter, trustee of the Maritime History Society on many occasions. I would now like to invite Patron Emeritus Vice Admiral A.R. Karve to give some remarks on this occasion.
Greetings to all of you present here today to celebrate the completion of Maritime History Society Special Research Program 2019-21. I'm really honored to be here and very happy also to be invited to share this important occasion with three youngsters who have just completed their research assignments. They must be feeling very proud that the very first maiden venture of Maritime History Society for this kind of research has been successfully completed today. The History Society has continued its efforts throughout the pandemic to promote Indian maritime consciousness through various outreach programs and platforms. And this research program is one of the examples of that very effort. At this stage, I would once again like to recall the founders of Maritime History Society and the efforts that they put in and the vision that they had to set up a history society of this kind. And I'm referring to Admiral Avati, Admiral J.G. Natkarni, Professor Arunachalam, who laid the foundation of research at the Maritime History Society. I would also like to recall the efforts and work done by Commodore Odakal Johnson, who was the director of MHS till recently. It's all thanks to his efforts and leadership that we were able to get this research program through. And in accordance with this vision, we had three research associates, that is Jahnavi, Denard, and Amruta, who did very seminal research work, small but very seminal research work in very niche topics, which will really help the society in future. And they have shown us the way on how we can do these minor research programs or projects. Maritime heritage is not only about history, it is about so many other things. It helps us connect with our past. And as we all know, that India has had a rich maritime legacy for thousands of years. The people from all over the world who came to settle in India, who did explorations off the coast, who immigrated to these lands, who also emigrated from these lands. The fishermen folk who harvested the bounty of the seas, and the various coastal communities and maritime traditions, which are intermingling of various aspects of these various aspects from all over the world. Studying, protecting, and promoting this diverse legacy is the important aspect of research that Maritime History Society would like to encourage. And therefore, it is with this in mind that the special research program has been instituted. In the last 2 years, we had the special research program with 3 research associates, as I mentioned, Janvi, Denard, and Amruta. Janvi Lokegaonkar carried out research on the development of maritime economy in Bombay and assessed the Anglo-French rivalry in the Bay of Bengal through her minor and major research projects. Denard D'Souza worked on ancient Indian culture, history, and archaeology, with projects focusing on reimagining a maritime heritage hub with Sopara and analyzing maritime practices of littoral communities on the west coast of India. Amruta contributed largely towards research on the built heritage within the maritime domain, with her projects covering the potential of Oyster Rock Battery and analyzing the coastal defense plan of 19th century Bombay. In summation, we can see that MHS has taken initial baby steps by initiating the Special Research Program 2019 and 21. And it has shown us that it is indeed possible to have contributions from the younger generation towards maritime history research on specific and niche topics. The vision of MHS is far-reaching, and much of the work that the founders envisioned, or much of the work for MHS that the founders envisioned, has now seen the light of day through the Special Research Program. And this has become a stepping stone towards bigger things to come. I'm sure with each passing year, we will be able to identify more research associates and even more research topics and subjects. This is a vast area for research, and there is plenty of scope in the years to come. All of this research, when looked at collectively, will contribute towards enhancing greater maritime consciousness amongst historians and amongst the society. I would really like to appreciate the work done by the research associates and the MHS team, which guided them, for achieving and doing justice to the research work and the mission of MHS, which is to discover our heritage and history, our maritime heritage and history. I would also take this opportunity to welcome the new director, Commodore Robbie Thomas, and urge him to continue with efforts in bringing MHS to the forefront in maritime research. I wish you all the very best for the future endeavors. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Admiral. That's extremely encouraging. Now it is time we acknowledge the talent of our brimming scholars. Let's begin with the certificate distribution. I have the privilege now to invite Vice Chairman of Maritime History Society and Flag Officer Commanding Maharashtra Naval Area, Rear Admiral Atul Anand, VCM, to please give away the certificates to our scholars. Candidates receiving the certificate, please come forward as your name will be called upon. She is a heritage and history enthusiast, especially in the maritime domain. She is a go-getter and strong-willed. May I call upon stage Ms. Janvi Lokegaonkar. architect by profession and expertise in the conservation of the built heritage within the maritime domain. She likes to preserve and protect. May I call upon stage Ms. Amruta Talwardkar. From expertise in ancient Indian culture, history and archaeology to maritime community heritage and traditions, he is knowledgeable yet kind. May I call upon stage Mr. Denard D'Souza. Moving forward, I would like to invite Commodore Odekar Johnson for a special announcement.
I have two announcements. One, starting from today, as I mentioned in the beginning, all three of them, Janvi, Amrita and Denard, have the right to be called Junior Research Fellows of Maritime History Society. So can we applaud them for that? There were three, but only one can be the valedictorian. So I am delighted and honored, with the concurrence of the director, the valedictorian of the Special Research Program 2019-21 as architect and enthusiast Amrita Talwardkar. That deserves a better applause. Just one second.
Thank you, Commodore Odekar Johnson. Congratulations, Amrita. Now I would like to call upon Commodore Odekar Johnson to share his remarks.
I don't have a remark, but I have again one more announcement and an invitation. The announcement is that late last evening, Chairman MHS has confirmed to me that we will be launching the Advanced Research Program, and you will be glad to know tentatively there are 3 people selected. Now it doesn't require any surprise, and if they serve for 2 years and if all goes well as per program, then the Advanced Research Program will go on for 3 years. And we are hoping the specifics will be shared in due course. And the best way to conclude this program is to not to hear from me, you have heard from the Vice Chairman, but I think it's time for us to listen to the emerging generation of historians. So I invite the valedictorian of this program to share in a minute her thoughts. Amrita, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I trust I'm audible. Officers, ladies and gentlemen, I start with this quote that I just read some time back. Life is like sailing. You can use any winds to go in the direction you want. For me, after my post-graduation, MHS has been the wind to my direction. Today, as we 3 of us complete our journey as research associates of the Maritime History Society into a new research phase, me along with Janvi and Denard are grateful to the entire team of MHS, our patrons, the Academic Council and everybody present here today for guiding and assisting us throughout our journey. We are excited and we look forward to assuming our new role in the best of our capability. Thank you.
Thank you, Amrita. As we go to the end of this event, I would like to invite Vice Chairman of Maritime History Society and Flag Officer Commanding Maharashtra Naval Area, Admiral Atul Anand, VCM, to deliver the closing remarks. Please welcome the Vice Chairman to lectern with a big round of applause.
Respected patron, MHS Vice Admiral A.R. Karve, you just heard, members of the Academic Council, good to have you here. Commodore Odekar Johnson, Director MHS, the present one, that is Commodore Robbie Thomas, who is not with us today. Parents, respected parents, I must say. Researchers, of course. Team MHS on the sidelines, all of you. And fellow maritime enthusiasts. It is with great pleasure that I stand before you today to make the closing remarks for the valedictory event of the MHS Special Research Program 2019-2021. First, I would like to begin by congratulating the researchers, the three of you, Ms. Janvi, of course, Ms. Amruta, and of course, Leonard, for successfully completing this research program, and of course, Commodore Odekar Johnson for leading this program very, very successfully. The MHS has truly come a long way in building its credibility in the cutthroat world of academia, and MHS owes its success to you all, the researchers. The research program, which commenced in 2019, came out to be fruitful as it shaped brilliant young scholars in maritime studies. The program resulted in the generation of scholastic projects delivered by the MHS researchers and of course spearheaded by Commodore Johnson and the Academic Council of the MHS. Despite constraints of the ongoing pandemic, that is the COVID-19, the researchers were diligent towards the research projects and managed to complete them in due course. For this, I applaud you for your resilience and of course all the hard work that went in. Moreover, you have also, so to say, transmitted your knowledge amongst the public via your various blogs, your vlogs, lectures, events and articles as a part of the MHS research and the outreach. Well, we are all aware that the Indian maritime history encompasses a major part of Indian history which ranges from the ancient times to the present. Our nation's maritime activities during the Vedic age have been mentioned in the Rig Veda, consisting of over 1,000 hymns. The chronicles of our country's maritime history are also referenced in the ancient Indian literature such as the Arthashastra, Mahabharata, Puranas and Ramayana, as well as foreign sources such as the Indica and the Perplus of Erythraean Sea. Our ancestors knew all aspects of seafaring, such as the nature of the sea, the winds, the building of ships, navigation and so on. With such a rich maritime culture spanning over 5 millennia, there is a lot more that remains to be discovered about the Indian maritime heritage. We see the traces of a maritime past reflected in written records, monuments, folklores, culture, both material and non-material, and much more. All of these components are like pieces of a very complicated jigsaw puzzle of our entire heritage. By our good luck, we managed to find a handful of these fragments, and it is only due to the passionate and some people say the crazy kind of attitude that you have, the expertise to build the entire big and a holistic picture out of all these fragments of information and knowledge that we have. The researchers at MHS are those who pick up these traces and paint the picture via the strokes of analytical thinking, deduction, and of course a few calculated assumptions. You have worked and mastered a wide array of fields, with Mr. Leonard covering the ancient and medieval maritime perspectives, Ms. Amruta covering the built heritage, and Janvi overlooking the modern and contemporary aspects of Indian maritime history. The three exhaustive projects of each MHS researcher not only spawned a consistent flow of knowledge in the maritime domain, but also generated extensive outreach, like I mentioned earlier, via its social media platforms and various events. Their research has also established grounds for further probes into the maritime domain. Since the time of Samudra Longan was imposed Indians have been skeptical about going out to sea. The only exception to this was the coastal communities. The disregard and ignorance of Indians towards the long coastline is only now beginning to show. Sea blindness is one thing, and now I would like to make a mention of a particular quote which I really like. We in the armed forces, we like maritime heritage, but why do we care so much for the researchers? So I searched and searched. Generating heritage is one thing, and I found a very apt quote. I hope you remember it, because for us men in uniform, this is what affects us. Being total patriots, I would say. I quote, "It is too often forgotten that when the Europeans gained enough maritime skills and gunpowder to conquer most of the world, they not only colonized the bulk of the world's people, but they colonized the interpretation of the history itself. Human history was rewritten to favor them at the expense of other people. The roots of modern racism can be traced to this conquest and colonialism." Unquote. This is a quote by John Henry Clark. So essentially what I want to highlight is those who write history, make a lot of difference. The manner in which it is written. Those who are victorious in war, they write the history, and that is what is read and followed and probably understood by many of us. And as patriots, we want you to interpret history the right way, so that the coming generations, the men in uniform, whether it's the Army, Navy, Air Force, most of our ancient history covers all three services. Not the Air Force as much, but definitely the Army and the Navy. And this is where the role of the researcher comes. The data collection or data collation is something, it's a hard work, that's all. It's not the interpretation. That's where I request you. I've deviated a little bit from my script, but I thought it important. And therefore, I bring back that there is indeed a new resurgence in maritime studies in India. And I can only hope that wherever the MHS researchers go, you all continue to exceed and inspire others to work in the maritime domain. I wish you all the very best in your future endeavors. And I can tell you one more thing. I stay in a house which was built in 1900, the former house. It was where the Britisher used to stay, the coastal battery commander. I work in Angre Fort. When I look down from my office, not 10 feet away are the cannons of the fort. The water used to be right in our feet. So whether I'm at work or at home, at rest, I'm surrounded by history. And it is indeed, humbling to know what Indian history is all about. And that's why we keep saying, you need to interpret it for our good and give it that twist, because I'm sure the Britishers have given that twist. It is not possible that history was the way it has been written in many ways. Right? And we would love to read your interpretation or your analysis, and not just data collected from here and there. So with this, I would like to hand back to the anchor who's been steering us all along. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice Chairman, for sharing a personal story. Our national heritage enhances our pride by promoting a sense of national identity and brings people of different caste, race, culture, ethnicity together under a shared history with an in-depth understanding of one's ancient cultures and past. The Maritime History Society has been true to its vision of bringing our maritime heritage to the fore. Now, before we depart, I would like to congratulate our research associate, head of program, academic supervisors, parents, and each and every person who contributed in this special research program. At the same time, I would like to thank our great audience, chief guest, patron MHS, vice chairman for attending and making this event extra special. Thank you.